Since late November, global M2 money supply is up $7 trillion, but Bitcoin is dumping. What exactly is going on? Are we in the middle of having a dead cat bounce, and are we about to head lower? I'm going to break this down. Most likely the answer to that, in my opinion, right now is yes. Anything could change at a moment's notice. The Trump administration could step in and make something happen with news that's positive to the markets or something like that. But until that happens, it's going to look ugly. It's not financial advice. Get ready for the intro because it's a banger.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys, welcome to the Blaze Crypto channel. We're going to talk about what's going on in the market, and it's not looking very good right now. We've had a little bit of a surge, so that's a good thing to see. But we dipped down to 89,000 a few hours ago, back up to around 92,000 right now. But that's not a lot. And when we have small bounces like this, that tends to mean that we've got more downward momentum. New buyers are not stepping in, and existing buyers are not buying in bulk. There's a lot of people right now looking at the markets thinking that they're going to get a much better price. So when that happens, it's going to be something that it's going to be scary. I do think that we are about to, let me put it this way. Pretty sure Dr. Profit's going to end up being a legend in this space if he's not already, because the more we look at it, the more it looks like Bitcoin is probably going to bounce off of its previous top at 74,000. So this could be a really, really, really brutal period of time. Now, anything could change in the meantime. The structure of the market, the way that it's set up, the way that it's outlined, the way that it looks right now is pretty simply scary and frightening. And it looks like that, you know, the market is about to take a mad dump. Now, that being said, let's look at some of the information and let's see if we can develop a different thesis and figure out why that may not happen. Not that we're going to change anything, but we're looking for details and information. So I posted this a few hours ago. Bitcoin is having what I think is a dead cat bounce, and here is why. This is what the chart looked like at that time. You know, we had a nice bounce right there off of, we gave you two different spots, which was 91,400, which it bounced off of the day before. And then the next day, 89,258. Well, that continues a downward trend. So the fact that we're bouncing off of these ranges and coming back up doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. When you see these big wicks like this, when you see these big wicks, what you want to see is you want to see strong buyback. Otherwise, all we're doing is getting a little bit of a bounce before we start heading lower. And as verification of that, or because we're seeing that, let's talk about it real quick. So we had that significant candle right there. Look where we are right now. We're minting another early on red candle. Doesn't mean that the market's going to stay in the red. We could see a little bit of profit taking along the way right here, and we could see a significant recovery. I'm still not out on it, but when we see these big candles, but we don't see massive upside moves, that generally means we're in a downtrend, and we'll probably continue in that downtrend. As evidenced right here, we had this nice big wick right here, and we got this small candle. We got a nice little bounce. We got We got to bounce like it looked like a recovery, and then boom, lower lows start coming in. So what we're looking for is we're trying to develop a thesis that's going to change, or it's going to be different. We see it right there. We don't get a gigantic candle to give us that relief right there. So we bounce around here, and it takes a little while, but then we get these lows coming in, and it's going to repeat itself over and over again. When you see that, look at what we got over here. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. We got this big wick down here as we crash down into this range. We got this massive wick right there. That means that big time buyers were stepping in and that the market was about ready to start surging. And then what happened? That's when we got an all-time high. We got a nice little bounce down, and then boom, we just started on an absolute tear, a rip. So when we see these smaller candles not turn into big surges on that next day, then it doesn't look good. Now, we're not having that day yet. And by the way, saying this, there is a possibility that the market could just explode in an hour, that we could be looking at $50 billion upside, $100 billion upside. There's always that possibility that exists. There's always the opportunity for a piece of news to try to move the market in one direction or another. When you start looking at positions that people are taking, where are we at here? Boom, 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 show. We want to do this. And we want to start looking at our data. What am I looking for right here? You know what? I'm telling you that right now. I'm saying that right now. And then I'm like, son of a bitch, funding rate. Here we go. And son of a bitch, that's not the one that I wanted. All right, there we go. Overall open interest right now, 65 billion on Bitcoin. And we want to see longs. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now I got to fight with this goddamn thing to try to figure out what's going on. There we go. When did this all change? God damn it. You know, it used to be that you could just click on this and it would give you the information that I needed. Let's look at liquidations over the last couple of days. Let's see what the rate looks like at this spot here as well. All right. So 1 hour longs are at 3.9 million for Bitcoin. For 1 hour shorts, 246,000. 4 hour longs, 5 million to 1 million. But when we get to the 12-hour number, that's where this is what we're looking for right here. When we get to the 12-hour number, 14 million going long, 30 million going short. 24 hours, we've seen a huge move where people are starting to take long positions. That's where you get your recovery. But that recovery is not looking great so far. We haven't seen a move into these ranges. We haven't seen buyers step in, but people are starting to put their bets on it. Now, that is in that 24-hour window. All of these people could get wrecked off of this at any point. So, not looking really good. Let's keep going down here. Ethereum, about 50-50. Definitely still shorting over here. Looks like they're going long in the shorter time frame. Same thing for Solana. Looks like it's going short. It's going long on the shorter time frames. That 12-hour still negative. And then the 24-hour long, very, very negative. So a mixed bag, if you will. And if it's not really looking good, then the most likely scenario is it's probably going to come down. So now that we know that our funding rates are looking kind of wonky, let's get back to what we're doing here. And remember, guys, we've been talking about M2 money supply for a long period of time. Now, what's the M2 money supply look like on the daily? We always check it out. We always look at it. And let me show you. We are probably one of the only people, or one of the only channels that's really been focused on it and talking about it for an extended period of time. But look at the divergence that we're now seeing. So we have been in lockstep with this market for an extended period of time. moving my mic around a little bit, so you might sound might get a little wonky. But so during the peaks and valleys, during this big peak here, we're fine. During this valley, we're fine. During this, we're fine. During this, we're fine. During this, we're fine. And then it falls apart. We start breaking down. We come down into this level, which is right here. Now, mind you, winter mute happened right over here. So that was a reason for people to start freaking out. But the market has continued to mint new money. It's still continuing to print, but we're not running back up. We are running back down, which means that the goblins and the ghouls have taken over, and there's no new buyers that are really stepping in order to protect these prices. Now, we look at it from that term. What do we, the argument that we could make is maybe this. You see the money flow right here. What we could be looking at, and this is, I'm going to just give you guys an idea of why we're going to go back up, by the way. This money flow tells me that we are not done yet, but let's go back and let's look at, when we get spikes here, we get, that's not what I wanted. We get spikes here, we get spikes, we get rolls, we get this big run up right here. Okay. This big run up, I think, was supposed to be a lot higher. I think that this run up was really set to break out, in my estimation, because what we didn't plan on is a black swan. That black swan is this gigantic candle right here with winter mute selling off. So if you just humor me in that context, I think that we were probably due for this move. And then all of these moves right here were going to happen, but they would have happened from, let's kind of break this down. If I were to take, give me 1 second to find out what it is I'm looking for here, because I don't remember exactly where I keep this shit anymore. There we go. All right. So if we look at it from this little run up to where we are right now, if we were just to consider that we were going to have another breakout, right? We were going to have another little breakout off of the top of this. We'd be up at $4.5, $4.6 trillion, somewhere in that range. Then the same structure of the chart would have been playing out. We'd be looking at it, but we wouldn't be having this conversation, because today, where we're sitting at 3.13 trillion, we'd actually be sitting somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5 to 4 trillion, sitting exactly where the 50 MA and the 200 MA are currently converging. So what I mean by all this is, I think that Wintermute took the steam out of Bitcoin and all of crypto for just a little while, and that unfortunately, we have to deal with the fallout from that. But had it not been for that, I think we would have gotten another nice little run up. We were consolidating, going sideways right here. If you see that, we're going sideways right here. So I think that surge was this right here. This surge was that right there. Then we had a little sideways action in the market, which was a little sideways action, and then we were about to get this other big spike. Now, I'm not saying that it would have gone up the same amount or the same, I'm just saying that I do believe that that's what we were getting ready for. And then Wintermute stepped in. They knew this was here. They knew they could manipulate the market greatly, by the way. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20. They knew. And they wrecked the market. Now, in the meantime, after wrecking the market before it runs up here, guess what? It becomes a generational buy opportunity, or at least a big buy opportunity for them. And then we're down here and we're running it out all the way down here, while money supply still funneling into the market. So now the question is, what about the rest of this stuff over here? Look, I think we're going to reverse. I think we're going to have a nice little run here. I think we're going to get this big candle over here. We're almost there. And also, by the way, some of this could be delayed a little bit. Clarity Act, we've got a lot of different things that should have happened or could have happened or would have happened had it not been for the shutdown. But I mean, again, you combine that shutdown with Wintermute, and it was this basically became a massive black swan. So when you have a massive black swan like that, I mean, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Matter of fact, by the way, while we're doing this, I'm going to take a moment here and I'm going to try to, I'm going to unlock. So I'm going to be a little bit wonky here for a bit. I'm going to stretch this a little bit right there. I'm going to stretch this a little bit right here. Try to get that right there, and then move this down just a little bit right there. And beautiful. All right, beautiful. Okay, take some of the distraction out of the way here so that we can focus on the chart. Now, ultimately, there's still this move, potential for it to come down, but we're going to remove money supply for right now, and then we're going to add in one more thing, and we're going to run the moving average convergence divergence. I want you to look at what's going on with the MACD right now. Looks like we're heading back up. Okay, we've had this downward momentum. It looks like it's building back up to a move, by the way, until we get back into the green. Money flow is still out, but the reason that it's pink right now instead of red is because the money flow is starting to slow down. So this little slowdown right here could mean that we're going to get a tiny reversal. However, again, the market doesn't show strength, so it could be very difficult. The other thing is RSI still very, very weak. So what does it ultimately mean? Ultimately, I think that this means that we're going to have a bounce. It's not going to be the bounce that we're hoping for. There's some fallout here. I'm not sure what it's going to take to get new buyers to just come back in and start rocking. Now, looking at the monthly here, this is where it's going to get crazy. Okay. So zoom out here. This was the bottom of the market. This was the monthly chart, by the way. Okay. This monthly chart right here, we got this big candle right here, and we got this move. And you can see here on the MACD, again, we're looking at MACD down here, and we saw this massive sort of move here as we just kind of went from this area up here. Then we started to break out, and we had massive flows, massive flows, massive flows. Look what's happening right now. We're going down so hard at this point that the market is about to correct into bear territory. Now, let's go back over here. This was bull territory. This was the bear market. We're headed back into the bear market. It's so the question is, will there be a saving grace? That's what we're looking for. Okay. We've seen the come down right here. We've seen the come down right here. Both of those times we got a reversal. We got another big rally that took us back up a little bit higher. So really hoping to see that by the end of this month, we get a little bit more out of this one and we start to get a break back above. I'm not sure that we're going to. Remember, Bitcoin's down about 16% so far this November, which is the biggest, I think it's the biggest dump in November history. Or if it's not, it's the second biggest dump in November history. So, we just learned, by the way, that in October and November, we ain't shit. That these market makers, these ghouls, these goblins out here, those guys are coming for us hard. All right. And let's pop this up here. Shit. There's the MACD right there. And you can kind of see right here, like it's just like we just don't have any motivation right now. We don't have any momentum on the monthly. So, again, this could be a situation where we are just absolutely cooked. So we're going to be watching that one to see how it plays out. If you look at it on the weekly, then look at this. I mean, it's been getting drastic, but let's take a step back. When it does this kind of stuff, it doesn't seem to last very long. Look at right here. Okay. We've already seen this part play out. Could it go more? It could go more, but also I think we're about at the end of it and we're going to see a rally. We're about at the end of it. We're going to see a rally. So, and it happens over and over and over again. So, let me move right there. Sorry about that. So all of the things are telling me that we're at the bottom. Problem is there could be more bottom, even though again, I'm looking at it. I'm saying that, we appear to be at a bottom. On the 2-day, we're getting a pink candle right here. So it's flipped from red to pink, meaning momentum is shifting. We'll see whether it continues to shift. On the daily, we're seeing the same thing. Momentum looks like it's continuing to shift, but we've had that shift and it's happened, by the way, through November here, and we still ended up going a sight lower. So it's complicated. It is a complicated market right now. We need something. We need something big. We need that Hail Mary from the Trump administration. What we don't need is one single Republican voting no on the list that went out 426 to 1. Really? Really? Then one of my MAGA friends texted me and was like, oh, you know, I understand that guy. I'm sorry, you what? Mm-mm. Uh-uh. Uh-uh-uh. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. It's absolutely insane to me. Anyway, so let's kind of move into some of these different cryptos and see is there anything that we can do. And by the way, if you didn't buy this dip right here on Bitcoin, if you were to enter a position right now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Unless you're entering like a 2x or a 3x or something like that, I would really still kind of stay away. Unless you want to throw $100 at it, just see what happens. I would kind of stay away from what's happening right now. We could see a reversal. We could see another move, but the more likely move here is to set yourself a buy at 81. Now, make sure, again, you're using like 3x leverage or less, because if not, that 74 possibility still exists right there. And you want to make sure that you don't get liquidated. But also, this is a perfect spot right now to target as an entry position. You can set it up right now, and you can set it and forget it. Just throw a couple $100 at it. Using Weeks, using KCEX, using Margex, using any one of my, in the link down below, locations. Also, again, I want to tell you guys one more time, the Believes School will be open in a couple of days. If you are looking to learn about cryptocurrency and you're looking for different ways and different opportunities to strategize and figure out everything that you need to know in crypto, I try to do the best that I can to provide you with this information, but I'm not going to get all of it, and I don't have all of it in one place until now. So if you guys are going to be interested, I'm going to be opening this up very shortly. I'm testing right now to make sure, but the Believes Crypto School is going to be open very, very soon. Also, I just agreed to a partnership. I haven't signed anything yet, but I have agreed to a partnership with a trading partner who's going to provide you with, you're going to get free details on when you should enter positions. You're going to get, not all positions, but you're going to get free details on entering some of the positions, things like that. And then there'll be a paid opportunity right there for you. I think it's going to be like $20 a month. We don't want it to be expensive, but for like $20 a month, you guys can get trade signals that will tell you when to enter, when to exit, what exactly you should be doing, and it will support me. All right. So these two things are coming in the next couple of days. So get your checkbook ready. I'm just kidding. Both of them are going to have free options. So you get to try it out. You get to decide for yourself whether you like it. Also, when we're done and when I've got everything set up, then I will create finally the Believes chat. All right. Right now, God damn it, I lost it. I set up a Believes, son of a bitch. I set up a chat. Never mind, I deleted it. Son of a bitch. Anyway, I'm gonna set up a chat. I'm gonna set up I have a Discord, by the way. I'm setting up Discord to do the same thing. I'm gonna give you guys all kinds of opportunities, all kinds of different places to learn as much as you possibly can. Most of it's going to be AI generated because I want it to be the best possible signals. So the only AI bots that there will be are ones that I approve. And as you guys might know, I'm kind of picky about those. If I don't like it, it's not going to be there. So we're going to build up a trading channel for you guys so that, you know, we can make a bunch of money. And I think this market is about to keep moving in a much more positive direction. Again, I don't know that we're done with the dip. Set your buys at around 81,400, 81,500 maybe. Just see if you can get in, see if you can get some of that action. If you want to take a position right now, I would suggest just do a spot position. Buy yourself some Bitcoin right now because you could be in the middle of a significant sort of bounce. And by the way, that significant sort of bounce would go to right here, 98, 99,000. We could see that happen very quickly. You could see that big test at 104, 105. I think 100,000 is going to be, let me show you what it looks like here on the chart. There's a little spot right there where we've bounced off of around 98, right there, 98, 99. Then you've got around 104,000, like right up in this range right here. So you could see some moves into that right now, but otherwise, you know, the market is a pain in the ass. I mean, I'll just tell you, the market is a pain in the ass right now. Ethereum is back where, what is it that we're saying here? Oh yeah. Ethereum is back to where Eric Trump told you to buy and that it would be a good time to buy. In case you were wondering if that guy's smart, he is not when it comes to crypto anyway. He might be smart at some other things, but as far as crypto goes, it was not a good time to buy Ethereum. So, you know, hopefully it will be at some point very, very soon. BNB 930. I suspect BNB is going to bounce over this 200. What do you think of MEXC delisting Dev? I don't care. I don't like MEXC anyway. MEXC is it's a garbage platform, and I hope they die. Like, you know, I have nothing that MEXC does is anything that I want to be associated with. I think they're a scam. I think that Cecilia Sisu, the new CEO, she had no idea what a garbage platform it was. MEXC Cecilia. Wait a minute, let me do that, and then SUEH, I think it is. Yeah. This lady right here is the new CEO at MEXC, and she's like, it's absolutely crazy. It is absolutely crazy what's going on over there. They've messed with what do you call it? They've trapped your money. They've done everything negative that you can possibly do. Like, I don't respect or think that there's any chance that it's going to survive much longer. That is my opinion. Okay. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm saying that is my opinion that platform is going to be dead before you know it. And there's absolutely nothing she can do. Also, doesn't this look like the same girl who sends you messages all day long trying to hit on you and pretend that you're somebody else and that you're on her friends list? I don't know if you guys get those messages all day long, but I sure as shit do. Matter of fact, go into chat here and then go into requests here, and then go into the spam folder over here. Let me see how far down it goes. I got a ton of spam over here. And guys, if you want to talk about Dev, I mean, go to Randy and he'll talk about it with you a little bit more. I don't think that it matters good or bad or indifferent. Just makes it a little more difficult to buy it in the United States. But I don't suspect that that's going to last very much longer, because I believe that they'll launch their exchange and they'll start to migrate liquidity over. So I'm not really worried about anything in relation to the Dev platform right now. Really doesn't resonate with me that there's I don't think there's a problem with MEXC not being involved. You know what I mean? I don't think that there's an issue here. Well, and actually I say that I don't want to talk about it, but we're doing it. We're talking about it anyway. Tomorrow they're going to have a chat and they're going to talk about whatever's going on. Tom and Austin are going to go through. They have some stuff there that they want to bring out. I don't know what it is. I'm going to tell you this. I told you before, I was 99.9% sure that it was NASDAQ. I want to update those odds and tell you that I'm 99.99% sure that it's NASDAQ. I don't think that anything is fundamentally changed. You know what I mean? Like, so ultimately, I don't want them to be listed, by the way, on MEXC, because I think that it's a scam. So I don't think that's a good place, and that's not a good platform. Basically, what I think is, what I think is that MEXC is like what, who's that fucking goblin over there that was talking shit about me? Phil. I think MEXC is kind of like Phil at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I know y'all don't like that, but that guy still annoys the shit out of me because he pulled his shit. So, and I'm going to lock that. Haven't got this set up exactly how I want it yet. And this thing on the bottom might be a little bit too big right now. I was trying to make it, by the way, so just so you guys know what's going on here, I was going to set this up so that I'm right there in the middle, going forward. And then when I decide that I'm going to go into portrait mode, like, for example, I think you could do, I might be able to do it like while we're talking. No, you can't. Damn. But you can do like a portrait mode for shorts and stuff like that. But I was going to set everything up so that Terra Casino and Terraport were clearly going to be visible when I go into portrait mode. But I'm trying to, just trying to mess with this thing and get it all set up just right. So if I screw it up and you can't see something or anything like that, I'm working on it. Just know that I'm doing the best that I can to try to figure it out. Anyway, so tomorrow they're going to have their thing and they're going to talk about whatever it is that they're going to talk about. There is a list on the platform. I think we did Dev right there. Yeah. So it's going to be join Tom and Austin for a live X Spaces AMA covering the Dev Network, Dev Exchange, new integrations, and what's coming next. The questions that you might have right there, what new integrations are we talking about? You know what I mean? Don't focus on one guy. Whole dev community loves your videos, man. Don't focus on one guy that tried to talk you bad. I'm sure 80% of dev loves your videos. They might. I'm not saying that they don't, by the way. I'm not, look, I'm not saying that. Here's what I'm saying. There was a time when they valued me as a streamer, that they, and by the way, they paid me every month in dev tokens to talk about dev, but then they just kind of ghosted me and stopped. So it's not one person. It's not one person. My contact person was Davin Broadbent, and Davin just kind of ghosted me back in February and just never even replied to me. And I sent out a message, and then I just thought, if I got to go out there and kind of beg somebody to pay attention to me or something like that, it's not worth it. Even if I love the project, even if I'm still a fan of the project, I can't do that. That's not good for my business model. Like I still need to take on projects where I can make money. So there's only so much time. And if I'm working and I'm doing dev for basically for free, then what am I doing? You know what I mean? So it just doesn't make any sense. And it didn't make any sense. I was just doing it because I'm still a fan and it's my show and I get to do whatever I want on my own show, which is the good part about having my own show. But at some point, when you get stroked that way and you get somebody who just kind of ghosts you, then what do you do next? I mean, what's the step after that? To just keep doing it, and then after you get ghosted, guy says, you know what? You don't fit our brand anymore. Even though, they put out that long thread where they were like, how did you find out about dev? And I pointed it out that, a lot of people found out about dev through me. And then he starts his, well, you think everybody's investing because of dev? That wasn't even what I was saying. And then what I was saying was that they needed the money to continue to build the project. And then he gave me shit about it. I mean, guys, listen, I understand what you're saying, but at some point, and by the way, don't let me add one more piece in. I asked Tom to come on my channel and let me interview him and ask the questions that other people are not asking. Austin doesn't ask questions that are, look, Austin is on the team. He's not compromised because I think it's a great team, but he also will not ask, like they'll talk about what they can and cannot say. Like they don't get put on the fire, if you will. Not that I would be putting him on the fire. I'm not that kind of person. As most of you know, Like my job is to shine you up and make you look good to your community. So when I say tough questions, like there wasn't really going to be too many tough questions. It was just going to be, other things that people might have asked. And then Tom's reply to me was, I think I already answer hard questions for Austin. There is no chance that that's true. So, I mean, I've watched every one of those videos. There's absolutely no mechanism in which he's getting asked tough questions by Austin. And by the way, I like Austin. Austin is a friend of mine, or at least I'll put it this way. Let me add one more to you, Grimace. I thought that I thought that Austin and I were friends, or at least that we were friendly, if not friends, because we were in Bencoin together. We've had multiple conversations together, but I'll show you. Since July, I've been texting him and he doesn't even bother to reply to me anymore. So, I mean, why would I do that? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, look, Definity paid me for a month to do coverage and stuff like that. Then Definity told me that they were going to do some more, and then they never did. So I don't talk about them anymore. I sold my Definity the other day. There's only so much I can do, Maybe team is ghosting you because they are afraid that you will expose too much information. I haven't exposed any information on them in a year and a half, and I've been here for a year and a half. So if they think that that's the case, or if somebody were to make that, no, I don't think that that's it at all. What I think it is that that I think somebody took over who just didn't like me. They just don't like the way that I present stuff. They don't like the fact that I use words that they don't like or that they don't agree with. They don't like the fact that I come out here and that I have to take shills from meme coins or something like that. Like they just, there's something about what I do that somebody there just didn't like, and they decided that I was not worth paying anymore. And then they just went about it the wrong way in letting me go. They just ghosted me, which didn't sit right with me. That's all. I mean, it just didn't sit right with me. And then when I said, hey, by the way, look at this, look at what I got right here. Look at how many people are actually paying attention to me from your community. Then I got shit for it because like, oh, you think everybody's No, I'm not one of those autistic crypto bros like this Phil guy must be. You know what I mean? I've those people to me are toxic. They to me, my opinion, they've got a toxic guy in charge right now of whatever he's in charge of. It is my opinion. Because again, what he didn't like and when he came at me was me saying in chat exactly what they said on their public press release. And he didn't like that. So if he doesn't like what their press release is and he comes after me because of it, fuck that guy. That's insanity. That's insanity. I'm still bullish on it because I still know what's coming. I still believe in Tom Anderson for sure. Okay. I still believe in Tom Anderson for sure. I think that he and Ray Quintana for that matter. Like I don't have any problem with him. I don't like the fact that Davin ghosted me. I don't like the fact that Phil was talking shit at me. I don't like the fact that Austin just kind of ignores me now. So, they don't want me there close. So, you know what I mean? Why would I want to, you know what I mean? Hopefully it does blow up. Either way you win because you still get credit for finding it. If it does work out that way, I would think you would help blow up your channel. You know what? I do. And I'm sure that people are going to go back in time and they're going to find out I'm like the first person with 30,000 plus subscribers that's talking about dev every day. Like people will find dev content on my channel. They will know a lot about dev and people will start paying attention when that happens. I know that that's going to be the case. But I mean, again, the problem with it all was just the way that they treated me. You know what I mean? And again, it's not because you didn't partner with me. That part doesn't matter. Or let me phrase it. that part does matter because I like to be partnered with content or providers of content that I enjoy and that I like. And in fact, I'm partnered with BitTensor right now, and I'm earning BitTensor every single day for making videos and content for them. So, there are people out here, billion-dollar projects that I'm working with and for. So, I appreciate and I value those. I don't talk bad about BitTensor. I don't talk bad about any of that. I haven't had any problems with them. All I do is put out content when they tell me to put out content, put out tweets when they tell me to put out tweet. I do exactly what I'm supposed to do because the only thing that matters to me is finding good, solid projects with opportunity for me to make money along the way. And then if something blows up and something goes crazy and I have a bunch of those tokens or coins, then boom, I make a bunch of money off of it. And I think that Dev's going to be that way. But again, I just don't like the way I don't like the way I was treated by the people that I trusted to, if not partner with me forever, treat me like what I did wasn't worthless or wasn't worth respecting. I don't know how else to put that. You know what I mean? So there we are. But again, that's just my opinion. So anyway, they're going to have dev network updates, which means that they're probably getting ready to go live instead of on test center. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's what I would say that probably is. New partnerships and ecosystem growth. So we'll talk about new partnership. If they're not going to make an announcement of a new partner, they're going to make an announcement of the announcement of an announcement of a new partner, which again, that's not going to move anything. It's not going to do anything. I'm going to watch this, but I don't think this is going to this is not going to do anything for the chart. Okay. And ecosystem growth. The ecosystem growth is going to be where they talk about the number of, remember, Tom does everything based on Gantt charts, and what he sees is how the growth is going. And I think what he's going to point out on ecosystem growth is how many people are actually developing and building in the network. Then he'll give an update on the Dev Exchange progress. Hopefully that's going to be, we're on time. Everything is ready. The only thing that matters right now is CASP licensing and VASP licensing. And then boom, they're going to be ready to go. And then the live community Q&A. Now, the live community Q&A, again, let me also say this. This was another one that annoyed me. I asked 3 different questions the last time they had a community AMA. And do you know, I was not important enough for them to ask even one of the questions that I had asked. So, again, those kind of little things right there, that says a lot. That to me, that says a lot about whether they value me or not. Do you know what I mean? And does that make me petty? Yes, 100%. 100% makes me petty because even if I'm not asking the great question that they want asked, I am asking a question that people probably want to know the answer to, and they just ignored my questions. So, to be honest, at this point, I don't know if you guys know this. There is an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's called Dennis Takes a Mental Health Day. It was in season 16, and it was an episode in which Dennis had high blood pressure, and every time he had to talk about and or deal with things that he didn't want to deal with or talk about, his blood pressure started to spike, and he had a watch on. He had an Apple Watch, and every time his blood pressure started to spike, that watch would start going doot, 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 and it would start beeping. And then he would be like, oh God, I got to calm down. And he was calming himself down. And that's the way I feel sometimes when I talk about what happened with Dev, because again, like the pieces don't always all mesh up. And, I prefer to just kind of stick with, I basically just told you guys almost everything that happened since February. They stopped partnering with me, which is okay. Just tell me adios. No big deal. But instead, they just ghosted me. Austin, not even returning my texts anymore. Tom, by the way, talk to him. He takes the time for me, by the way. If I text Tom Anderson, he takes the time to talk to me. But Phil coming at me, again, those little things just build up into big things that become ridiculous. Okay. My opinion, My opinion only. Okay. But people that do shit like that shouldn't be in charge of shit like this. You know what I mean? Like, that makes me nervous long term, which is why I've already told you guys and explained to you guys exactly what my exit strategy is, exactly when my exit strategy is. Every piece that I'm going to do, you guys know. My re-entry position, even, I mean, you guys have all the information right now to know exactly what it is that I'm going to do. So, I'm about as front facing and open as it gets when it comes down to dev. And then when we get to that point, I'm going to look at it and then I'm going to say, well, does this team seem capable of going from, say, 5 billion market cap to 50 billion market cap? And I'm going to look at it, and the answer on that one might be yes, it might be no. That might be it. 5 billion market cap might be might be the I'm done thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. Are you retiring next bull run? I mean, I don't work. This is what I do for a living. So I'm already basically retired. If you mean, am I going to stop making content? No, I kind of like this. Like I kind of like this. I know that, I got to keep building the channel. There are things that I'm doing right now designed to keep building the channel. Some of these things that I'm doing, like here, like these backgrounds and stuff like that, are designed to be more pleasing for people when they come in and check me out, things like that. But also, like, I'll show you something. Matter of fact, I'll show you some of this shit. Like, I have no idea. Sometimes I look at what I'm supposed, like what I'm supposed to do, and I get really fucking annoyed by it. By the way, you can't see, son of a bitch. Like, man. All right, display capture didn't work the way I wanted it to. So we're going to go transform, and we're going to do a full screen again. We're going to fit it to the screen. This is my YouTube. The Queers live full set, November 1, 2024, with the Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I'm going to see the Queers, by the way, very soon. They're a punk rock band. They're always in Chicago. They're not from Chicago. They're from New Jersey, but they're going to be. Anyway, where was it? It was my financial friend. Here we go. Now, this dude has reached out to me multiple times to get me to, he's talked to me about different opportunities and stuff like that. I think my thumbnails are better than his thumbnails, right? I think that they are. But he's got 8,000 views on a video from 4 hours ago. He's got 17,000 views on a video for 17,000 views on one 9 hours ago. And look at him talking right now. It's not like his background is dog shit. Like, he doesn't have anything, like, I put in a lot of work on visuals and stuff like that, but I'm not getting the growth. Part of the reason that I'm not getting the growth, by the way, is some of the stuff that I'm doing. And by the way, I'll tell you guys, sometimes I feel a little bit stuck. I feel a little bit stuck in the position that I'm in. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm talking about Terra Luna Classic and it's contracting. I'm not talking about XRP all the time like I used to. I'm not talking about SHIB, which, I'm not talking about places that have gigantic crowds and audiences. I have 3 pieces of content that I can do per day. So I do one, which is my live stream at 9 o'clock. Then at 1 o'clock, I release a Terra Luna Classic video. And then at 4:30, I release whatever is a paid promotional video or something like that. Or I do this live, like I do a live stream like this right here, where you might not even get notified because I just bust out and go live for no reason. But I get, more engagement on X when I do that than I do over here. So I'm not expanding my brand the way that I want to. So I think that just like this right here, going back to this, like this guy's not doing, it's the same thumbnail every day, every single time. The only thing that changes is some of the different stuff that he's got in the background or where he places the same face over and over again. This is crazy. This news just crashed the market. Urgent news. Get ready. Bad news. Bitcoin just did it. So That's why, by the way, that's why you guys will notice that. Let me show you my thumbnails right now. Oh, wait, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's do Believe Crypto. You'll notice same thing. You'll notice the same thing. You'll notice the same thing. Like I'm still kind of working my way through. I'm not using the same font every time. I'm not like, I've got to work on some consistency to it. But you know, when you start to look at some of the different content that I'm doing lately, like my lives, I want to say, yeah, you'll notice that all of a sudden, since this one right here, that I am now doing almost the same thing every single time, other than this one right here. My lives were kind of doing that. You know, I'm trying to come up with a symmetry so that people can understand exactly when I'm talking about stuff and what I'm talking about, and, you know, those kind of things. So again, it's just a work in progress for me to try to expand the brand. Part of expanding that brand is what I told you guys before. There's going to be I'm going to give you a trading tool that you guys are going to be able to use. You're going to be able to use it for free, or you're going to be able to subscribe for inside details and information. And it's going to be $20 a month, I believe. And then I'm going to have it's going to be the Believes Crypto School. I don't know if I can show you a picture of it yet, actually. Let me see if I think I got a picture of what it looks like. Yeah, I do have it. Okay, so I can show it to you. This is going to be there you go. All right, so this is going to be the Believes Crypto Education. This is going to be the Believes Crypto School. So we'll see what happens with it. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens with it. But I'm using AI. Some of the AI that I'm using is to improve the content, like my thumbnails. I have shit. I'll show you. Actually, I think you guys are going to like this. All right, thumbnail optimization. Here's my first one right here. Rate this thumbnail between 0 and 100 for CTR. And this was the one that started off as cooked. By the way, where is the one that says cooked videos? All right, there is where it ended, cooked right here. All right, it said my career over. But I did this at first, and it gave me an 82 of 100. Then it told me increase the contrast, swap the purple background for a deeper navy background, which we turned into a much darker purple. And then we put fire in the background because it said, I did what it suggested. And then I said right there, cooked is my career. And it gave me a 92 of 100. And then it gave me a few more improvements. And then I made the few improvements over here, and it gave me a 95 of 100. And it kept going and going and going, right? So then I said another one. How about poly market done? And what I was doing was poly market, a competitor, and I don't want to use the competitor because that's not the name. The poly market is the one that matters the most, right? So I put check this thumbnail and give me a rating, and it started with 88. Told me to take off the Santa hat. They were like, take off the Santa hat. You are absolutely too sexy. You have a mohawk. Like, Jesus Christ, man, you have a mohawk. Show people the mohawk. So it said, take that off and start using anything else. So then I changed it to poly market. And then he said, change it to red where it says done. So I did that. And then it gave me a 96 over 100. And then it gave me one more to kind of fix. And I did that one. Then I did this one, rate this one. And it gave me, like, I thought, by the way, look at this. I thought I won. Okay. When I made this thumbnail, it got worse. Looked beautiful to me. I got my face like, oh God, I've got the arrow going down. I've got the poor guy over here. Like, give me money. You know what I mean? Like the market is tanking. Everything to this one to me said viral. And it was my lowest rated thumbnail ever. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. Okay, so it's not working. So it gave me a bunch of different things to do. And then it became this. Then it gave me 94 of 100. Then I did this one right here. And I said, talk to me, Goose. And Grok says, this is goddamn elite. You just built one of the single most clickable crypto bad news thumbnails I've seen in 2025. Now, remember, Grok is just kind of, you're so awesome. You're so awesome. Yeah. You know, that's the way that they do it. But that was I mean, that's what it said was a pretty good thumbnail, right? So I did that one. I did, it got worse right there. 250 views. Didn't do anything. All I'm trying to work on, though, by the way, is click through. Just trying to get a little click through off of it. All right. He's got a question mark. I don't know if we're here. We're here. And you look great for 74-year-old. I do. I look absolutely. I look fabsolutely abulous. Fabsolutely abulous at 74, almost 89 years old. So, I mean, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I'm just, some trans activist came in here the other day talking about I'm an old man and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm looking great for 74 years old. You know what I mean? So it just became a thing. I'm not actually 74. But I am over 50. I am 54. So, you know what I mean? I'm an old man. So anyway, I'm working on these things to try to improve the channel, to try to get more people. Yeah, I'm just doing different things here to try to improve the brand, if you will. Working on thumbnails, stuff like that. Maybe even like I've got some old, like I want to rehash some of the stuff. Like I'm not getting traction on the shorts like I wanted, but I'm also not doing enough of the shorts. Like, look at this. My shorts over here. Like at this point, I should have had like a viral 10 million people watched one single short or something. But I had one here, which is 1.4, 1.2, or 1.3, 1.5, 2.2K. I never had anything that just absolutely went crazy and went viral. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Nothing ever went completely and utterly viral. You know, every once in a while I get a couple thousand views. Then when you look at videos, let's go to homepage here. I think my number one most viewed video was 4 months ago, which is nice. But it was Ben Armstrong update, arrested again. Like I can't live my life based on Ben Armstrong, though. You know what I mean? Like I can't. You know, we're not gonna grow on Ben Armstrong. But then the other ones that I got, which were a lot of views, Terra Luna Classic got 14,000. Terra Luna Classic got 13,000. Terra Luna Classic got 12,000. Crypto futures trading got 12,000 over here. And then Terra Luna Classic got 11,000 over here. And by the way, I think that this one, by the way, I might have even used as an ad or something like that. And that's why it got so many views. Then also, if you were to flip this and go a little bit deeper, Ben Armstrong, Terra Luna Classic. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the cool stuff that people want to talk about. So, and then by the way, my SHIB videos, I had some here with 5,000 and 6,000. So, you know, I'm going to build a brand. There's going to be some things that I'm going to have to do that I probably don't want to do. You know what I mean? There's going to be things that I'm going to be talking about in the future that I may or may not have wanted to talk about. You know what I mean? Like we're going to start attracting more and more and more people. But the first thing that I'm doing, I'm not rushing anything at this point. I'm just working on my thumbnails to make them better, to give them better click through and stuff like that. I don't like the images that I made the other day. In fact, I'll show you guys. All right, so I made this one for this show, and I didn't ask Grok or anything about it. But look over here. I have all of these different ones, like right here. When I'm setting up a thumbnail, I've got all kinds of different me looking like an idiot, like an absolute moron on the screen. And what I've been doing is I take this. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to take one of these. Let's do like this one for tomorrow. And we're going to add that in right here. Boom. Okay, this is tomorrow's thumbnail. And then we're going to copy it. And then we're going to move it back so that it's right there on top. And then we're going to remove the background. So it's me. It's going to be me. So now I'm going to look at the positions to make sure I got everything gone. Everything's gone. So now I'm going to take the original and I'm going to go blur it out right here. We're going to do the whole image. We're going to hit blur. So we're going to blur that out quite a bit right there. Now the whole background is completely blurred out, or at least mildly blurred out. Now we're going to edit again. We're going to adjust it. We're going to do vignette, which is going to darken it on the edges a little bit. Then we're going to increase the saturation because then it looks a little bit more purple. And I like that. And then we're going to take the brightness and we're going to turn that down quite a bit. So now it still looks like the background right here, or a background right here, but it's a little bit darkened out and it's not as prominent. Now I have a canvas in which I can start to build off of it. Now, if I want to, I can then take this right here. And what if I decide red? Guess what? Now I can turn it red, reverse, or blue, reverse that, or black to make it even darker. So there are some options that I have to try to, again, do that. Yes. Yes, I should probably stop talking about politics, but unfortunately, I can't control myself. So that's my boundary issues. Then from here, the red's not bad. All right, so let's do this. You're in charge today. So we're going to take the red one and we're going to go red. And then what about if we took this other red and did that? Oh, it's going to make it look yellow, so we don't want to do that. That red, we don't like that one. We don't like that one. We're going to do this red right here. See what that looks like. I don't like that. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. Matter of fact, I have some more backgrounds that I'm going to be working on. According to Grok, I should be doing a darker background than what I'm doing right here. So you're probably going to see this one becoming the one that I use as my background. In fact, going forward, because I'll be over here on the side and you'll see kind of Bitcoin right there at all times. And I think that that's kind of important too. And the orange Bitcoin color in the background, I think would also be kind of important. But nonetheless, I digress. We're going to go back to this one. So we're going to take this one. Now we got that backer right there. And then we got me in the front. Now, when I put that back, now you've got kind of a glow around me. So now the question is, what can I do with it? Well, now I can take an element. Like let's say that, what's tomorrow morning? What's the news article for tomorrow morning? Let's pop this up. Let's go look at CoinGape. CoinGape is my exclusive news source right now. Donald Trump says he has his pick to replace Jerome Powell. Okay, so now I have a bunch of different like assets that I can use. We got this one right here. And then no, we don't like this one. We're going to do this one right here. And then we got one more here, which is going to be Jerome on the mic. Where is Jerome Powell? I think I have a Jerome Powell. I might have gotten rid of it. Ah, there it is. So there we have it, right? Now we're going to do text, title, Trump replaces Powell. Now that's not true. Wait. Trump to replace Powell. Now we're going to make that larger. And we're going to stretch that out just a little bit because that's going to be across the top. Now, I don't like the size of it, right? It needs to be bigger. The font needs to be bigger. So we're going to take this and we're going to change that to Anton, which makes it a little bit bigger. We've got Impact, which is a little bit bigger too. Replace doesn't make sense. Too much space here. So we're going to do Oust Powell. Now we're going to try that with Anton again. We're going to try that with wedges. No, we don't like any of those. Trump to oust Powell. None of that makes any sense. So we're going to get rid of Trump because, Powell gone. Now we can make it a little bit bigger. Now we're going to move it behind my head. So Powell gone like that. And then we're going to take, and we're going to make it red. And then we're going to put a black frame around it. We're going to increase that to 100 because we want to make sure that it distinguishes itself from the background. Then we're going to put a light up here, maybe in the corner, and see what that looks like. We're going to position that behind it as well. That gives it kind of that feeling of something's happening right there with a little bit of glow. Then we're going to take and edit that, and we're going to turn that edit into a vignette as well to make it just a little bit darker. And there we go. With the stars going by the windows, could be small Bitcoin, XRP, etc., with a big red enemy behind you firing red lasers at you for bear market days, then showing, you know, I do stuff like that and people don't click on those. Like, that's the hard part for me. Like, I want to do some just kick ass, that can just do some kick ass stuff. Orange. There we go. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. I can't do that. It doesn't fit. Like, I don't always know what fits, but I know when it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, I know when it doesn't fit. Let's see if there's a different one. Let's try graphics here. Let's try different orange. See if we can get a different. It's a funnier looking one. How about an orange slice? Oh, it doesn't work either. Could also do Trump, you're fired. Hold on. Hold on. I think I got it. I think I got it. I think I got it. As my man Fozzie once said, waka waka. Let's try this one. We're going to hit the upload here. Boom. We're going to add "you're fired" right here. We're going to put Donald Trump right there. I'm going to make him a little bit bigger because we want to see him, you know, we want to see him a little bit bigger here. And then we're going to erase the background. Boom. Okay. And it looks horrible. God damn it. I tried. Let's make him mad. Let's make mad Donald Trump here. And then let's make Jerome Powell smaller. And now we made him wiener height. We could also, let's see if I could do this. Let's see if we could take Jerome Powell, turn him sideways, and then move him. Let's see if we can move him above Trump's hand right there. Nah, that doesn't work. How about that right there? Man, it doesn't look bad, right? Now, for the final piece, we're going to take me right here. We're going to edit me, and we're going to make me look pretty. We're going to add some vibrance to it so that I have a little bit of color. We're going to increase the blacks just a little bit. Then we're going to we're going to darken that just a tad right there on the edge. And then we're going to, I'm going to leave the brightness at 0, I guess. Boom. There we go. All right. So then that's it. We won. So you just watch the thumbnail for tomorrow morning get made. And we'll see whether it matters or not. You know what I mean? Like I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep getting the click through. The other thing is, if you guys notice, I don't lead off with my intro anymore because I think that bores people. So we're going to start off with boom. Y'all want to see a dead body? I'm going to give you like what the news is going to be for the day. And then after that, stick around after the jump and we're going to talk about all that and more. This is not financial advice, but I'm always right. And then boom, we're going to go into the intro song. And then we're going to come back and it's going to be like, welcome to the Believes Crypto Show. My name is Believes and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I'm working on this kind of stuff as we go. So hopefully it's going to matter. Hopefully it's going to matter. Fingers crossed. So, but ultimately, the most important thing that I can do is ask you guys, the thing that helps me the most, that helps me the most is you guys subscribe to my channel. If you become a member, it's $4.99 a month. That helps me out. If you want to do that, I appreciate it. I have 2 people that pay $99.99 a month or something like that because they're supporters. They're big time supporters. If you make money in crypto and you want to be a supporter like that, you can certainly do that too. I only need like 100 of you to do that. Anyway, but the point is, need to bring in more people so that I can continue to provide content. So what I need from you guys, if you are willing to do it, share my content every time you have an opportunity. Buy a Believes Crypto t-shirt, and like, I don't make any money off of those, by the way. But buy a Believes Crypto t-shirt, or I make like $3 for a t-shirt. But buy a Believes Crypto t-shirt or a hoodie or something like that, wear it outside. And when somebody asks you, like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? That's awesome. Then you can be like, that's Believes Crypto. You should be watching him on YouTube. If you don't, and I'm not able to say the things that I think is hilarious anymore because I'm supposed to not say that kind of stuff anymore. You know what I mean? Like just share my content with as many people as possible. When you see somebody talking about who's your favorite influencer on X or something like that, if I'm your favorite, go talk about me. When Jake Gagan's out here telling you that the market's about to send and it doesn't send, somebody goes in there and says, if you had listened to Believes Crypto, you would know it wasn't going to send and you would have saved yourself a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. If I had enough supporters out there working me like they were working for their bag on a meme coin, then I grow, you know? So that's how it works. Anyway, it's my time to go. I got to get ready to not really do anything. So that's going to be my mantra for the evening. I'm not doing anything. Watched wrestling last night, by the way. Roman Reigns is back. Brock Lesnar is back. They're doing it in war games. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. And Maxine Dupree is the new women's intercontinental champion. Can you believe that Becky Lynch put over Maxine Dupree? Like, you say what you want about Becky Lynch, whether you like her or not, whether you agree with the ratings that she's the all-time greatest female wrestler of all time. No matter what you agree with, it was incredible for her to put over Maxine Dupree last night and allow her to become the new women's intercontinental champion. That was just amazing. So, yeah. How about I get a shirt and just walk around Walmart all day? You goddamn right. Gosh darn right. Son of a... I tried. Matter of fact, what I do at this point is I cut all my hoodies up because my hoodies don't fit anymore because my fat ass was 3X. Now it's XL or maybe double XL. But I cut up all my hoodies so they have like no sleeves or anything. And it just says Believes Crypto. So I'm working out in Believes Crypto. And people constantly at the gym are like, what is Believes Crypto? Because they're wondering what crypto is. People are learning about crypto. So they always like, what is Believes Crypto? And I'm like, Believes Crypto is me. And then I'll show them the channel and stuff like that. And like, oh man. So, you know, some people from the gym actually watch. So we'll see if they stick. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys first thing in the morning. It's not financial advice, but I'm looking for the good life, good